Hollywood.
Yeah. Good evening. Welcome to another Scale Model and Chill, or SMAC for short. Thank you, Jim. Trademark Jim, that. Good evening. Welcome to Luke, Jim, Brett, Zinzan, John, Simon, Barry, and Joffy. Hope you all had a good week. I certainly have. I've been absolutely manic. But I did have Sunday off, so I was able to do a load of reviews because I've got AMP sent me some kits to review. Heather sent me some kits to review, and so I've been trying to get through them as much as possible. But other than that, I did do a video, which I've been meaning to do for a few months, and I finally got around to doing it because I get absolutely enthralled by seeing old rare scale model kits for sale. And I don't think Zinni was there at the last model. Or was it the week before? Were you there when I was bidding on that Ferguson tractor that night?
No, I wasn't. No.
Oh, you weren't. So on a Wednesday, about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, Ferguson tractor came up for sale, the original Airfix one in a baggie. So I've been told that the baggy ones don't make as much money as the proper original ones because the baggied ones from 1959 were actually made in polystyrene, whereas the original box ones from 1950 52 are still the acetate stuff. So they're not as robust. Anyway, so I bid up to 300 quid thinking I got this in the bag, and the bloody thing went for about 360 quid. So I missed out on that. So it was a bit sad, but it brought me up, So I did a video about the most expensive kits, and believe it or not, the most expensive kit in the last few months, because over the last few months I wasn't looking like all time because you can't go back that far on eBay. But the most expensive at the time I did it was the Wing Nut Wings Gotha. Only released once back in 2011, and somebody purchased it for £560. So I thought, oh, maybe a bit of a discussion tonight. We could talk about old kits we may have in our stash, why we bought expensive kits. Um, uh, have you had a bargain on a kit that you've got in your stash? You may have paid a couple of quid for at a local car boot or garage sale in America, or whatever you call them over there. What do you call it? You don't call them boots, car boots over there, do you? You call
Yard
them yard
sales?
sale, yard
Yeah.
sales in America. Um, and then they realise they're actually worth a pretty penny, if you know what I mean. So, but if you've got anything in the chat you want to ask, please do. Question, or QQQ. Sorry, question or QQQ before, and we'll get you up on the screen. And I've got Mike in the background there, doing the moderating. So first off, then, not that I've shared this a few times now, but I think one of the rarest kits I've got, which I've got in the stash, and I brought it out because I was going to do a video on it, because you'll never be able to buy another one, by the way, is this Ford. Oh, I've got myself bigger here. Let me go bigger. Big, so you can see it. Is this Airfix 32nd scale Lotus Cortina? All the bits are there, nothing wrong with it, but I paid £100, and that's because it was a kit that I haven't got in my baggy collection. And I think up until last year, I think that's the most expensive one I've bought, because I think most of them are around the 50, £60 mark. But yeah, it when they become rare, they seem to hold their price. And the thing is, though, is that I didn't buy that kit to build. I bought it to collect. And I think, and I'm just putting it out there and we could discuss this and argue this. I think a lot of people see the prices of these kits at top end, but they're not aimed at the scale modeler, those prices. They're aimed at the collector. I really believe it's a collector's market when you get to old kits. And unfortunately, and I've seen this happen, people collect this old stuff, and when they die, their family don't know the real intrinsic value of this stuff, and it ends up in the bin. So these old kits don't even get built, and that's a bit of a tragedy in that sense. But yeah, like I've said, it's Interesting. Anyone got any thoughts on prices and rarity of
Well,
kit?
there's to my mind, there's two things at issue. There are rare kits
Yeah,
and there are rare boxings.
yeah.
I've got an example. That one is not particularly rare,
Okay.
No.
but that one is,
That one is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's 1 year only, 1969, and had parts added 1970 for that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I bought this one at the model show for 15 quid.
Bargain. Absolute bargain. So did they? So they replaced the parts on it.
Yeah.
Bring
They,
up the second.
yeah, they added the basket on the winch,
Yeah.
because it used to have this
Right.
sonar doodah at the bottom, which you could spin the top round, it goes up and down.
Yeah.
So they added the basket and the astronaut. If I do this again,
Yeah.
you can see the basket there,
Oh, I
Or-
see. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
and it's right. If I do it again, there's the basket with the astronaut,
Yeah.
and it's not on that one.
Okay.
It's the parts that were added. So, like you say, this kit was available for 1 year only, 1969.
Yeah.
This one has been reissued a few times in different boxes, but you can't get this one anymore anyway, because it was retooled to the SC Rescue.
Oh, right. So you can't
Yeah.
get that kit anymore.
You can't
in that-
get them anyway.
No.
So that's the thing about the Lotus Cortina, the Vauxhall Maxi, the Cortina. They were all rehashed
Yeah,
tools and
that-
made them into like a
Custom
different-
cars. That was
Custom
the Cortina, the Capri, and the Zodiac.
Zodiac. They were the
Yeah.
only three
Yeah.
that were changed.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then you've got kits where the tool has been lost.
Yeah.
Example.
Yeah.
The SS France.
That one.
That one.
Yeah, I've got one of them. I've got one of them.
How much did you give for it?
£70.
That's about the going rate.
£10. Buy it now. eBay.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
No,
£10.
Barry,
£10. That's
Baggy-
without postage. Without postage. £10. Buy it now.
He's got the
Yeah.
luck of the baggies, hasn't he?
Look at that. I tell you what, that's good, isn't it? If you get that.
I
Okay.
tell you, just for you, Joffy,
Yeah.
that's what I'm building at the moment.
Oh, the Albatross.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's the issue.
Yeah,
Is
the
rare.
Red stripe header. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the particular issue is rare.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
appeared a couple of years, then it appeared in the blister, then they changed the paint screen. You know what? Do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's still Roy Cross box art, though, isn't it?
it's still Roy Cross, and I gave less than 15 quid for it.
That kit, Barry, has got
Yeah.
one of the most dynamic pilots Airfix ever produced in a kit. Because he has
Dynamic.
a scarf trailing behind him.
No,
Interesting.
that's the
Sure,
pilot
yeah.
that's in it. It's a actual
Hang on.
stick figure.
Let's have
You
a
should
look.
have a. That's not the original pilot from that kit.
That's the original pilot.
No, it's not. The original pilot had
Well,
a
it's
scarf
scarf
bellowing
on
down
it.
his neck.
Unless I cut it off thinking it was a bit of flash.
You might have, yeah.
Oh. Well done,
It's like
Joffy.
Yeah, I'll probably cut it off thinking it was a bit of flash.
Yeah. Lox9 saying he's got a Tamiya Easy 8 Sherman, a rebox of the Tasha Sherman, which only issued 1 year in 2025. Currently going for £100 on eBay, but not 2015, but 2014. Yeah, they go for mega bucks, some of these kits. Now, when I did my
Yes,
ultimate
they do.
rarest Airfix kits, people keep telling me that the holy grail is that tractor, and I don't think it is. I
No.
think it's the SS Canberra, because you
No.
try and find it. I've only ever seen somebody had one the other day. They emailed me with pictures of it with bits missing. But if you find a complete Canberra
Are
in
you
1,
talking?
2,
Are you talking about the Canberra or the Southern Cross?
Southern
think it's
Cross, sorry, but it's Southern Cross,
Yeah.
not Canberra, the Southern Cross.
Yeah.
That's right. He sent me a pictures. I go, yeah, you know, I watched your video on this, and I think, you know, I said, look, you know, it could be worth £2,000
Easily.
because, you know, really rare kits. Like I said, you know, you had that rare Stingray. I did a video about it, and I did the auction about it. And that went for like £1,600, £1,700 with commission on top. So that's £2,000. So, you know, there's a, and that's what I'm kind of trying to get to the point is that when these old kits come on the market and they go for a high price, I don't think it's a scale modeler who would buy it necessarily to build. I think it's a collector who's collecting this stuff up. But you've got some rarities, haven't you, Luke, that you've picked up over the years? Didn't you have that? Didn't you have the Lancaster or something that you picked up quite? No, was it Lancaster?
No, I mean, I've got some expensive, or what would be considered relatively expensive kits. Whether they're actually rare or not, probably the rarest I've got is the Edelweiss.
Yeah.
That's
I would
what I was on
agree,
about, the
yeah.
Edelweiss.
So I've
Yeah,
got one that I've built,
yeah,
and I have one sealed in the box.
wow.
That's the rare one, if you like, because once they're built, they're worth nothing.
No.
Yeah.
But I think you're absolutely right, Maz. I think it's two separate hobbies almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because nothing that I have, yes, I've got a few expensive kits. Like I've got the Shamrock, which was released at the same time as the Edelweiss. It's not quite as rare, but it's still quite expensive for what it is. The 35th scale Dora is an expensive kit. Not that rare, really. But I'm going to build them.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of people out there that, like you say, are collectors. They collect kits rather than build them. So, and rarity and value and all that stuff that we've said many times is relative to the person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Was
$627, roughly £459.
And essentially, it's the 35th scale Panzerkorps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very nice one. However, that's essentially what it is.
Who made the plastic? Who made the plastic in that then? Is it like
Zukimura?
Zukimura and a company called Valkyrie Chronicles?
No, so that was the game. The Valkyrie Chronicles was a video game.
Right,
and
okay.
what Zukimura did is limited runs of the Edelweiss and the Shamrock, which were two of the tanks within the game.
Yeah.
But they only did a few hundred, and most of them were bought by gamers as like merchandise rather than by scale modelers to build, which then made them rare because you can't get them, or you can get them, but they're now at a premium price.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're lovely kits, to be fair.
Length track with it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I got mine, I used, so when they released the Edelweiss, they released a full LED lighting set for it, full crew characters from a game in resin, and they released a photo etch set for it. So I got all of that and built it, built everything. Whereas the one I've got is just the plastic kit in the cellophane, like that one for sale there. But I think, it's relative to the person, it really is. What's valuable, or
Yeah.
some things are rare. You can't get them. That being one of them, or very seldomly. And then other things, people will see the value in it that perhaps others wouldn't.
Yeah.
But I think it's two separate hobbies.
Yeah. What's a collector willing to pay for an item?
Don't
I
you
think
think
that's
that-
what it is. It's and also there's there's got to be, and sometimes I've bought kits because there's a story behind it. So, for instance, the Airfix Vostok that hasn't been boxed for a good 10 years, 15 years. There was one up on eBay for about £70 3 or 4 years back, this Vostok. And the reason I bought it was because I built it in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I thought, oh, I don't remember how good it was to build. I remember building it and painting it with emulsion paint, because that's what I had in the shed. And for me, it was like, oh, I'd like to have another crack at that and get it done properly. And so I bought it, £60-70. As I said, a lot of the baggies I've bought over the years, I've been around that 50-60 quid mark. The box one of the Sam, I bought that off somebody on here for about 60-70 quid. I've seen them go for about 30, but there's always been a problem. There's a wheel missing of the kit or something like that, but they're still gaining. But like most things, I've got an original first edition Airfix catalogue, which I paid a lot of money for. And I remember I got this last year, but this is a mint edition. This is mint edition of the very first Airfix magazine, the very first one they released.
Oh, have you got one? Yeah, it is.
1960. This is mint, absolutely mint. There's not a crease on it. £200. But yeah, everything in it is absolutely mint. And I've had it in the drawers here for a while, but it's because I do collect Airfix memorabilia. But I've got rid of a lot of the kits, and the trouble is that it's when I'm buying Airfix stuff now, I'm being more particular, because what's the point in having 4 or 5 Lightnings in 1/48 scale with all the different schemes that they've released, when it's the same plastic in the box.
Yeah.
And if I do want to do a particular scheme, there will be a micro decal sheet somewhere with that scheme that I want to build on it now. I don't think it's I think that scale model companies are looking at more of what they can do within plastic than they can with the schemes now, because that for instance, Airfix, that Stalwart, they're adding extra new parts to it now when they release something. So this time they're bringing it out with a crane on it, bits and pieces. A lot of other companies are doing that. I'm just trying to think of other rare kits that I've got that I didn't pay a lot of money for. Like I've got the Foden Hallmaster up there. She's looking at me now. And I must have paid 20 quid, but it's a pretty rare kit. You don't see many of them for sale. But if you want to build a Foden that your granddad drove in the 60s or the 50s, that's the only one that's out there, and they don't make it anymore. Tooling that gets lost, if you hear of a tooling that you won't ever see again. Like, I'm surprised that the TSR2s haven't rocketed in price now that we know that the tooling's no longer available. Now I've said it, it's going to rocket now, isn't it? But those 148 TSR2s, apparently the tooling's gone. They're both gone.
God. That's all.
The tooling's gone. I can't find it.
I think those TSR2s, there are still some out there, and I think they're upwards of 120 quid now. On Fleabay, as I think they call it. But I picked up mine for about 60, and it didn't seem an extraordinary amount of money for that. And then
I thought, the 48 or the 72nd?
48.
God, that was cheap.
That's good. That's cheap.
That was about
that's cheap.
That was about 5 years ago, I guess. You know,
Yeah,
it was one of,
well,
it was one of,
I bought two. I've bought two 72nd scale ones, and they're around 50, 60 quid mark back then as well.
yeah. I mean, this was from King Kit, so you know, I
Yeah.
would have paid a premium through them anyway. I would have suspect,
Yeah.
but it wasn't at the level of value where I thought, oh, well, now I need to be careful with this. I just wanted to build the bloody thing, quite honestly, and it sort of leads me to think that, as the excellent Mr. Rifle said earlier on, you know, there are two kinds of individual, and this is very much like the record business. There are people who collect records and buy them for their rarity value and for their condition. And then there are those that go out and buy, you know, vinyl from the 60s and 70s and go and just immediately wind up their gramophones and put them on and play them. And so, you know, as it is with records, so it is with models. I think I probably fall into the second category, in the sense that I thought, well, I'll build the TSR2. Why not? I got a lot of fun out of it, and it was. It's still something that I look at. It's not one of those ones that at the end of the year I chuck in the dustbin, as it were. I don't think I'll do that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So there we go. But I'm
Jim. Sorry, who's that speaking?
It's your show.
Jim, have you got any rare kits in your stash?
Since I like the new modern stuff, I don't have much old, what you call rare stuff. Although, back about 10 years ago, I started getting into the Tamiya bikes, and I've got them all except for the all-grade Fiat bike. That one never flipped my switch. But when I started my quest, it was right before they started getting rare as hen's teeth, I got this one for 45 US. Okay, so that probably goes for a pretty penny, especially over in your guys' neck of the woods. Then I talked about this one. I got this in February for $20 here, and you know, and it's just like woohoo!
Yeah.
The money couldn't get out of my wallet fast enough. When he said, $20. I saw that kit a few months at the last national last year for 125. So I'm like,
wow,
take it. The other one that I'm really kind of I don't know. It's sealed, as you can. It's still sealed, and I haven't had the heart to open it up yet. That I paid a little bit more for, but still a smoking deal. It's probably like 100 US. So, and that's, I mean, it's a Rossi bike that's sealed. But as far as really, what's that?
It's number 46, the Valentino Rossi number, isn't it?
Yeah. Those are Rossi bikes, and I've got one, two, at least two more. So. Probably what I would consider my rarest and probably most expensive kit is this one, just because the tooling has been destroyed. So you know, these goes from mint over here. And
I've got one of those.
Yeah, a buddy of mine's got two of them sitting on a shelf.
No, I've only got one. I did have two. I sold one to Adam Challenger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like I said, about 10 years ago, I went to a national, saw some bike kits. I'm like, man, I got to do one. I'm only going to get one and do it. And then I got another one, and then I got another. And I had like 4 or 5 by the time I finally built one. And then when I finally built one, I'm like, man, these are a blast. So off I went.
That's it.
They Oshima do some nice bikes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, they Oshima do some nice bikes.
Hasagawa do a few.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's like you say, they're Rossi bikes. So their rarity a lot of the time is for that reason.
Yeah.
Because Rossi fans will buy the kit because it's a Rossi bike.
Right.
With never any intention of building a model.
Yeah.
Right.
Lecter.
But it's because it's Rossi. So therefore that starts to make the kits rare and valuable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus,
now add on to that. Let's multiply that. All these are out of production because Tamiya is not going to pay the license anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't see any more of these. What's out there's out there, you know. So does that make it rare? Well, in a way, sort of, because the production of them has stopped. You know,
Yeah.
so again, you're limited to what's there. The
I mean,
but
what
it's not out of
Right.
it's not out of the realm of possibility that somebody would pay the license, because I know BMAX are now producing those bikes. But the thing with the Academy CH53 is that the tool is gone. It's been destroyed or something happened to it. So we know there won't be any more of those unless they cut a whole new tool. And what are the odds of that?
It's,
I mean, what does make something rare? Is it the amount that were produced initially? Is it the fact that no more are going to be produced? Like, what makes it rare?
I would think, well, one, popularity. But what drives popularity? The fact that it won't be produced anymore? Or is
Yeah,
it
because it's only a finite number.
yes.
So I honestly, it's probably a multifaceted answer to a multifaceted question. You know, what makes something rare? Well, ultimately the public and their demand for it is what makes it rare in this whole supply and demand thing.
Because rarity and value are two separate things.
Yeah. I suppose it's like in the railway world, they make like 500 kits of a certain engine. That's it. They aren't going to produce any more, and they put them out there as a premium price, and people will pay it because it's collectors.
I mean,
which is
But
as an example, let's take the Airfix F6 Hunter 172nd.
Yeah.
That got retooled into the FJ9.
Yeah.
But there's still plenty of F6s around because it's in production for a fair few years. So even though no more will ever be made, it's still a relatively cheap kit.
Yeah. I think the rarity is a really good thing about, you know, it seems to add value to something that shouldn't really have value. So, for instance, one of the kits that went for mega bucks on eBay, and I didn't go for what people were asking for. People had actually paid money for these kits, so it was also listings. Was the Williams FW14B that Nigel Mansell won his championship with, like, you know. And you look at the kit, and it was released once in 1997, never to be released again. And that seems to be one of those things about Formula One cars, is that every year, predominantly from the year 2005 onwards, they from an outsider looking in, they all look the same. But every single car is different. They've all got different things to make their aerodynamics. So Tamiya did this Williams. They did it once. They've never done it again. They've never released it again. And I presume that is because they were not willing to pay for the licensing of the Williams brand. But then, but the nostalgia of it will probably dwindle as well, because how many people now really remember Nigel Mansell being a world champion? If you see what I mean. So I think that, you know, they hopefully the price will now stabilize around that mark, unless they get unless somewhere along the line, if Nigel Mansell dies, people will want to buy them again because Nigel Mansell's passed away. Oh, a bit of memorabilia for him. Boom, buy the kit. And maybe Tamiya may release it that year when that happens. Not being morbid here, but there's a reason. But yeah, they only ever released it once, and I think it's better to say the licensing. But if they released it now, would it have the same pull as it did back then? And you know, I don't know. It's a quandary, isn't it?
Didn't they do that with the Ayrton Senna car? Didn't they do that with the Ayrton Senna one? Released that when he died.
Yeah, they did.
Did they do that? Did they?
Yeah.
But didn't it have the correct? It didn't have the correct. It didn't have the correct decal scheme on it, did it? Because you can't do advertising of cigarettes or nothing now, can you, on these kits?
No, you'd have to go after market.
No, but Ayrton Senna, didn't Ayrton Senna die in the early 80s before that law came out?
No, he died.
No.
Was it later than that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a year after Michael Schumacher won the.
Oh God, of course it was. Yeah, you're right.
Because he become the driver that replaced Nigel Mansell.
Yeah.
No, Nigel Mansell went to IndyCar then, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to Indy 500.
It was in 97 or 90? Yeah.
I remember that famous race that Senna drove when he was stuck in sixth gear and they still couldn't beat him.
Yeah. But rarity is, as I said, and price. There you go. Brian here said
I was-
good point. Is there like any collectible item, are they only valuable to our generation? As the next generation emerges, won't their value plummet?
Good point.
Good point.
Don't you think that a lot of value is also tied to what I would call cross reference, where a kit would say, like the TSR2 for instance, it was also released by Airfix to follow up the markings for some anime show.
That's right.
And that kit became very, very popular.
Still very rare though.
Yeah. That's the one that goes for stupid money on eBay, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Hasegawa did a range of things like F-16s, F-15s, with the same show with that sort of animated decor options in them. You try and get hold of them now, they cost you a fortune.
The other kits that come to mind are the Pfalz armor tanks that are girls in Panzer. Try and get hold of one of them.
Yeah.
There's plenty out there.
Yeah.
As a sideways look, does anyone remember the Frog spinner pop kits from the early 70s?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't born.
Also,
you can still get the kits quite easily. It was a Bristol Beaufort, was a Beaufighter Mark 21, and a Ju-88. You try getting the motors.
You can't get the motors now, no.
No. It's the motors that are rare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
It's also funny that the kits are crap.
Yeah. I built them, took the photographs, took some footage of the motors spinning, then I broke them up to salvage the motors.
Yeah, don't blame you.
That brings us back to the point of the older kits is a collector's market, not a builder's market. You know, if you, for instance, who's the guy who builds all the vintage classics on YouTube?
Yeah.
Who's the guy who builds all the vintage classics?
Oh, God.
What's his name? But anyway, so he had the hovercraft, right? Builds it, but ends up vacuum forming the glass, vacuum forming this, redoing all the pipe work, redoing, everything in even the seats.
Are we talking about Stevie here?
Not Stevie, is another
It's
guy.
not Stevie.
Not Stevie, but he basically he builds these kits back up to a standard way above my pay grade, and it shows you how much effort some of these kits take to make them.
Yeah, make something decent.
Yeah, he done the Belvedere, and it took him six attempts to vac form the glass on that. Because the glass never fitted on that kit.
No, it never fitted from brand new. When they first tooled it, it didn't.
Yeah, and when they first tooled it, and because they re-released it, obviously there was some. I went round to somebody's house once, and he had one there for sale, and he wanted 30 quid, and I thought, nah, I don't want to pay. This is before Airfix released it as a vintage classic. And then he also had the Vertool there as well.
Yep.
Which he wanted 60 for, because he heard that if it's a red stripe on the box, it means they will have triple the money. He heard that. But vintage classics, they are what they are. They are. You can build them, but you wouldn't. You have to work hard to get a decent result out of them. So if you want that challenge, that's what they are. But they're also 8 quid. When the bomb bug came out, I always looked on eBay for that bomb bug. And everybody said that the tooling had gone and nobody ever seen the tooling again and blah, blah, blah. And there was that baggie on there for £350.
Yeah.
For that bomb bug. He was in a baggie, right? I shit you guys not. Now, go and look. It's still there for £350.
Yeah.
Okay. And the thing though is that, I would have bought it but never built it for 350 quid. Or 200 quid, I probably would have bought it. I would never have built it because it's the original baggie. But if you bought the vintage classic one now, where they re-engineered and reverse-engineered, the glass on it, the glass is better in the vintage classic release of that bomber than the original glass that was in it. So that's, but again, because it's in a baggie and it's got a red stripe on it, people are expecting to 250 quid for that kit.
They
And it
won't
was
get-
a red.
How long's that kit been on eBay now? It's about 3 years, isn't it?
More than that, 5 year, I reckon. So I reckon the bomber came out 4 years ago. And I remember seeing that baggie on there for 350 all the way back
Yeah,
then.
it was definitely available before that on eBay, wasn't it? That
Yeah,
second-hand kit.
That's right. That's right.
There's a
So
guy.
when-
There's a guy who's got an Airfix Vauxhall Victor as well, and he wants like 300 quid for that, and that's been on eBay for about bloody 6 years. And
But
never
I don't
get
think
it.
but if everybody bought it, they would never build it, would they?
I wouldn't
imagine
build
that.
it up all that.
You wouldn't build it. You would hope that you would keep it so that it'd be worth more money in the future, I
Yeah.
guess. Because when you collect things, the value does go up slightly. It's like, how many times have you seen, like, for instance, the original Game Boy, the original Nintendo Game Boy that everybody had for years? And if you go on eBay now, they're worth, some of them are worth £500-600 because of the serial number on the back. But if you had bought that years ago and then I'm not going to play it because in years' time it's going to be worth 600 quid, you're never going to do it, are you? You think, oh, fuck it, we'll just play with it.
Definitely not.
Brett,
It's-
do you ever sell rare kits in your shop or anything?
No, I have a bunch of rare kits, but I don't
Go on,
sell
then.
them.
What have you
I got
got?
most of the Wingnut Wings kits. I didn't pull them out, but those are just. But I'm going to build them all.
Yeah.
I got a couple of these classic old Revell kits.
Oh,
lovely.
This
Trade
bottom
wind.
one's from the '60s. It's original.
Yeah.
This one's a Reeboks that they did in the '90s.
Do you
But-
remember? Do you
Hang
remember
on,
the
John.
original Aurora 55th scale fighters? Have you ever seen any of those box?
Yeah, they're hard to get though.
Yeah, because I know Starfix released them now. Dreadful, but
what's
they were
that?
state of the art in those days, weren't they?
What was the scale of that cross the plane you had there? What was the scale of it?
The trade wind.
Scaled from official prints.
Box scale.
Yeah, it doesn't have a scale on it.
Yeah, there'll be box to scale.
Well, yeah, doesn't have a scale on it.
Sometimes sometimes on the instruction leaflet, the scale on it.
Yeah.
But that one's looks sealed, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I
these are both
think-
sealed.
I think that trade wind was I think it's either 1/4 scale or they brought out like a 1/70th scale to fit in the box. But yeah, that if I remember rightly, Revell re-released that
Yeah, they did.
about 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. They re-released it.
It was re-released in 2006.
Yeah.
2006 was it?
Well, just
Well,
it's one,
remember, it's very,
it's
yeah,
106. Yeah, it's 166th scale.
166 scale.
So that's one of the kits that are scaled to fit the box, isn't it?
Ah, fair enough. Scale to fit the box.
I've got this old Accurate Miniatures kit,
Oh,
the
they're really
Vindicator.
nice.
It
That's
didn't even have
beautiful.
this was when they first came out, didn't even have the
Yeah.
name on it. I'll build this someday. See, all the ones I got, even though they're collector's items, I'll build.
Yeah,
Lasagao released a Romanian BF-109.
Yeah.
I'm going to build that.
that's rare.
The rarest and most expensive, I've got 75 Vega, 74 Firebird,
Come on, get in.
77 Monza.
Uh-huh.
Here's a classic. All you Americans will remember, a Chevette
Oh my gosh.
and Boondocker. And these are just some of the old ones, but these go on eBay for several $100s.
Wow.
And once or twice a year, I'll do a box review on them and build them.
Yeah.
And it pisses people off.
More reason to do it.
I brought these two out for their rarity. I don't think they're going to be worth a lot. These two were released in 2018 when there was a lot of butt kissing going on between America and Russia. This is a T90 with a resin Putin figure riding a bear. So that was the Putin one Meng did.
Yeah, that's hard to get hold of now.
Yeah.
This one is the harder one to get a hold of. This is the Christmas edition with a resin trunk. It comes with 2 different heads.
I bet that's the most sincere. That'll be the most sincere version of Trump anyone will ever see.
It comes with a Christmas head and it comes with his orange
That's
head.
mint, isn't it?
Oh my word.
It's right here.
Is that his
I don't
hair?
know what's going to show up because it's white. But that's the body.
Oh, that's
I've got
funny.
mine.
And like I said, it's got his regular orange head you can do.
Yeah.
And then it's got his Christmas stocking head you can do. So they're both rare. And I don't know how much they're worth. And I just thought they would be fun to have.
Yeah, the T90 is going for around £155 on eBay now.
Ooh.
I don't know what was that. What was the one with What was the Meng with Trump on? Is it Meng Trump? Isn't it?
I think it's
Yes.
M1A2.
Abrams.
Yeah, it's an Abrams with Tusk armor. You can still buy the kit, but you
Yeah.
can't get the Trump.
I'd suggest that's a potential high value model kit in
Yeah, I
some.
would keep hold of that. Group.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. That will be worth a lot of money in a few years' time.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
I just thought they were fun, so I bought them when they came out.
Well, the funny thing is that the actual kit itself, if you want to buy that kit without Trump in it, they're about 38 quid, £38. But just scrolling through eBay looking for one with Trump on it, I'll just go sold listings. They put Trump in the title. Trump.
Yeah, it was a Trump Christmas edition.
Let me just scroll down to sold items.
The kit number for that one edition is TS-026S.
Okay, so have a little look. I'm just going to verify myself on eBay now. Let me just have a look on this eBay. So and see if it's there. Meng Trump. But that's brilliant that it comes with its own figure.
It's great.
These wingnut kits, the limited edition ones, are pretty rare.
Yeah.
But I build them all. And as for records that we were talking about, I buy a lot of records. That's like a fourth of my record collection. As soon as I bring them home, I open them and play them.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any records that aren't open because I love music.
Very sensible fellow. Very sensible.
Yeah, I love music. That's why I have them.
Are they mainly
Same with my
picture
bottles.
discs, those, Brett?
Pardon me?
Are they mainly picture discs or are they just black vinyl or coloured vinyl?
No, they're mainly all black vinyl.
Are they?
I have very few picture discs because they don't sound very well.
Oh,
they-
right.
They're not as good as the vinyl ones.
Yeah.
Not by a long chalk, actually. But they're nice to have. I've got a couple of Human League albums on picture, and some odd other ones as well. There's a version of Dare which is in white vinyl, which is particularly rare. That's quite hard to get hold of.
Yeah.
My
I have
hands.
some rare ones, but I play them.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
That's why I've got them. Same with the kits. I collect them, but I'm hoping to build them all.
Yeah.
That's it.
That Meng model, when it first came out, just looked on superhobby.com, and they still got it there. It was out of stock. £66.16 to buy that kit with the Trump figure in it. Christmas
Christmas with Trump.
edition with Trump.
Yeah, it's
There's ways
2018
to work
release.
out like that, isn't it? It's so
Brilliant.
funny.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that people haven't scanned that model in and tried to sell it on Coat 3D or something, print your own version. But yeah, so very. I wonder how they got away with it. Did it actually say Trump? On
Yeah,
the
it's just
actual
Trump on
box?
there's a supplementary label on the top, isn't there? On the
Yeah,
top
it
left.
says well, it doesn't say Trump. It just says Christmas edition.
Yeah,
Is
it
it?
doesn't say Trump.
But there's no doubt it's him.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Wow.
So yeah, these were just fun. I saw them being released, and I knew they weren't going to be around long, so I grabbed a couple of those. Every once in a while, I bring them out and laugh.
Yeah, I'm just looking here, and yeah, that was 5-6 years ago, 2020. They released that kit with that.
Well, and the Putin one comes with this medal. And it comes, yeah, got this metal here in a box, and it comes with this cheap cardboard base that you put together. But yeah, there's the bear and there's Putin right there.
Is it plastic or is it 3D printed?
It's resin, it's not plastic.
Oh, it's
But
resin.
I don't think it's 3D resin. I think it's cast resin.
Fast, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can tell by the supports, it's cast resin.
Yeah.
And yeah, it comes with this metal here with the ribbon on it.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know if these will ever get built, but you just never know what might strike me someday.
Well, if you ever do the Trump one, I think you should video it and put it on YouTube and just see how long before you get demonetized. That would be fun,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
The Secret Service knocks on my door.
Joffrey, have you got any rare kits?
I think the rarest kit I've got in my stash is an Airfix Hawker Heart bag.
Oh, the
kit.
original?
Yes, red stripe bag kit. Not an original release.
No.
It is a red stripe bag kit, and I got that for a song because I only paid $5 for it.
Am I right?
I gave a bit more for mine.
Did you?
Am I right that with that heart they actually
Yeah, they
retooled
retooled it into the demon. Yeah, they
into
did.
the demons? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
So you can't buy that kit again now. New. Yeah, that's the Type 2 header, isn't it?
Yeah, because they retooled it to the Hawker Demon.
Yeah, but I've got the Type 3 header.
Yeah, but this one predates yours.
Yeah.
Right.
It's got a different stand in my kit. It's got one of the more conventional stands. That one's
Yeah,
one
I
of
got
Type 2
the sort of
stands.
the teardrop stand.
Yeah, your decals are mint in that one.
It is actually. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they are. Mark
Amazing,
doesn't
isn't it?
as good as that. Yeah, it is amazing.
Considering this is, I wrote it down, Type 2 header, 1959 to 1963.
I've got a couple of rare baggy cars as well, the veteran cars. I've got the Dirac in a bag kit. I've got the Dietrich.
That's another good point. The Model T Ford and the Morris Cowley were originally 4-seaters.
Yeah, I've got both of them.
Yeah, I've built both of those, and they were retooled into 2-seaters.
2-seaters.
Yeah, so
well,
you never see
the Cowley had a seat in the boot as well, didn't it?
dicky seat.
Yeah, you opened the boot and there was a seat in the boot.
Yeah, well, the kit, the boot was closed, but the 2-seater Model T Ford had a dicky seat.
Yeah, that was in the boot. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm on about. Yeah,
Oh, you said Morris Cowley?
Morris Cowley. Yeah,
No, I have to look at my photographs. It was the Model T Ford that had a dicky seat.
because you had the Cowley, which was a 1923 bag kit, which was a 5-seater, and then you had the 2-seater, which was brought back up to Series 2, and that
That's
had
right.
that had a seat in the boot as well as the Model
right,
T Ford.
Right, I'm looking at the Model T Ford 2-seater.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I can't show the pictures on this. And come up, you git.
Sure, the boot and the Cowley flipped.
Yeah.
It had a seat underneath the boot lid, didn't it?
Right, the 2-seater's got a visible dicky seat.
Yeah.
Right, so if I go to the 2-seater Morris, yeah, there's no. If there's a dicky seat in it, it's inside the boot, and the boot.
It's inside the boot. Yeah, it flips.
Yeah, but you couldn't open the boot. The boot's molded in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you can't open it.
I've got the kit here somewhere. I'm sure it's not flipped open. Oh well. I'll get round to building it one day, Barry.
Yeah, but the other thing about those two cars, the four-seaters, there's no engine part underneath the chassis,
There's no
no
axle.
exhaust pipe,
No.
no prop shaft.
No.
So when I built the four-seaters, I had to buy a pair of two-seaters to pinch the parts for the four-seaters.
Didn't they boost both of those two cars up to Series 2 when they made the two-seaters? They did, didn't they?
The two Morris Cowley and the Model T4 two-seaters were baggies.
Yeah, but they were Series 2, weren't they?
No. They were Series 1 baggies. Later, when the blisters came in, they couldn't fit them in the blisters, so they put them up to Series 2 and put them in boxes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They boosted them to Series 2, didn't they?
Yeah, but they originally Series 1. But they couldn't get them in bags. It's like the Bond Bug. That's why it disappeared, because it wouldn't fit in the blister.
Yeah.
E-Trains and Models there just said, is the Airfix Railway set rare kits or are they not? They're not really rare as such as, if they're in the original Airfix boxings, they're rare. But a company called Dapo bought every single Airfix said, we're not doing trains anymore. Who wants it? And then basically shipped it, and Dapo paid the money for all of the tooling. And if I'm right in saying that Dapo have released every single Airfix bit of plastic on numerous occasions. There's nothing that hasn't been done before. So
even the Airfix boxes are relatively cheap. I did an entire diorama using Airfix and Rosebud Kitmaster for the coaches, and didn't cost much. There's heaps of them around.
Yeah, that's right. And they weren't that good quality. That's the problem either. So, Chopper's Model Works. I have a resin kneeling Monica Lewinsky figure kit with her cigar, kind of for the same reason.
So that cigar isn't really Bill Clinton.
Cigar is probably much bigger.
I'm actually no comment for legal reasons.
The Putin and Bear was also produced with the T72 B3M.
I never saw that one.
That's a nice kit, that 72. One of us one on eBay. Let's have a look on eBay, shall we? See if there's one for sale. But as you said, I think rarity comes to it. Whether you're a collector, that comes to it as well. But at the end of the day, it's what you want to do with this stuff. As I said, if you want to upset someone, do a YouTube video of a kit that you can't buy anymore.
I do it all the time.
Yeah,
that is true. So that Edelweiss, for example, is a video build series of that on my channel. It wasn't that long ago, maybe a couple of months ago, I got a random message from someone that had that kit stolen from them in the early to mid 2000s in fucking Norway or somewhere. I don't know. They had that kit stolen from them during a burglary, and they contacted me only recently. So you were a good decade on from when this alleged crime occurred, and said that because I got the figures and the lighting set within the box, that they believed that was their kit that was stolen. Honestly, you can believe it.
Is he trying to sue you?
Wow. The reply was short and sweet.
Yeah, I bet it was. Was it?
I'll tell you a little story that happened to me, right, on eBay. As you know, I sell on eBay. I've got a business on eBay. We sold a coin, quite a proper rare coin. And the guy contacted us about 2 weeks later and said, sorry, this coin hasn't arrived. So I went on the tracking and it got to the Bristol postal hub, and that was the end of the tracking for it. So he said, we're really sorry about this. I'll put in a claim with Royal Mail. Can you give me some details of your address and everything and whatever? He goes, yeah, no worries. And then a day later, he contacted us and said, why have you put the coin back up for sale? And I said, no, we haven't. He sent me a link to somebody in Bristol. And we know it was the coin that I sold because there was a distinctive notch out of the side, which I took photos of, because that why it wasn't in mint condition. There was a notch out of it, very distinctive notch.
Yeah.
And we contacted eBay, we contacted the police, and we contacted Royal Mail saying this is what we've sold, and this is now on eBay, and nobody took it forwards. They said just give the guy back his money. Which is what we did, and that person was because we contacted the person like we were told to do and say, where'd you get that coin from? Oh, I found it on the park bench. And oh yeah, you did you? And we reckon that. So now when we send coins, we put them in a box. Don't put them in an envelope with bubble wrap around it. We actually put it in a box now. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. That coin that's been stolen out of the Royal Mail distribution network was apparently found on a park bench and then put onto eBay. And there was other stuff on eBay, and I was wondering, all new stuff as well. And I was wondering if that person was robbing from Royal Mail and then putting all these items back on eBay.
Probably.
It's all on the same bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, big old bench that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bench just like a Wi-Fi container.
What can I find next on the bench?
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a fairly similar one. I sold an old Sinclair ZX printer.
Yeah.
All right, sent it off, got delivered, perfect. A week later, the buyer put it on eBay for 3 times the price. And then he messaged me offering me a discount for the printer I just bloody sold him. I told him, no thank you. You bought it off of me a week ago.
Idiots.
It's called drop shipping, isn't it? Where you sell a product and then you get it shipped out by somebody else, and make a bit of money on it. It doesn't work so much these days because eBay fees are just absolutely rock. And that was the other thing I was going to say. Unfortunately, we have to use eBay for a lot of this. It's the biggest global marketplace. 60 million people use it nearly every day. So if you do want a rare kit, the first place you go looking is on eBay.
Yeah.
But with that, you've got to realise for the seller to sell these kits is going to cost them a minimum of 20% in fees. And that includes your VAT, your regulatory fee, your postage fee, and gone are the days of it being 10% flat rate on that, and that's it. There's all these hidden fees now and everything else. Personally, I'm not going to deny it. I make money out of eBay. If I look at my house and I thank eBay for it, to be fair. But the reason prices are expensive on eBay is because eBay, they get their lion's share of the actual monies, I'll tell you. And you've got promotion fees and everything else. But it's the only place I know where I can, if I had a kit that I wanted to sell, I would put it on eBay because there will be somebody out there that, that has got a bit of change and wants to buy these kits. Unfortunate, but it's true.
Yeah, it's just the way of the world, isn't it? I mean, eBay started off, didn't they, like you say, with very minimal fees. Yeah. And then decades later, they're actually turning a handsome profit, same as Amazon. It's like anyone that uses free AI at the moment. There's a reason it's free.
Yeah.
Because in a decade's time, these companies that are now offering it you for free, once it becomes an integral part of your life, and it advances even more and more and more, and you feel like you can't do without it, then they're going to start charging you a subscription at $4.99 a month, and millions of people are going to take it, and then all of a sudden they've made they're playing a long game, aren't they?
Yeah.
Vinted nowhere near to eBay.
How does Vinted fare to eBay? Well, I've been using Vinted to put kits on that I'm never going to build. I've actually gone through my stash. I put all those D'Agostini Ferraris up there for to sell.
Yeah.
And also it is cheaper to buy stuff on Vinted because you pay the fees, so the buyer pays the fees, not the seller.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they've got such amazing deals with the likes of InPost and Every that most things you can get shipped to you for £2.29 if you want to go up to your local corner shop and pick it up there or in an InPost locker. But I use Royal Mail, and the reason I use Royal Mail for the eBay business is that I do get some protections if things go missing, and the tracking on Royal Mail is a lot more informative, so you can see the steps. And when it gets delivered to a place, it even comes up with the GPS coordinates, and that's a good thing because if it's been delivered to the wrong place, Royal Mail will check the GPRS or GPS of that package where it's been scanned into, and if it doesn't match where the house is, they refund you straight away. Well, they're not straight away. You have to wait 6 weeks for the check. And all, so that's why we use it with Every. The reason I don't use Every or Hermes, whatever it was called, and I promise you, this is the real truth. I go on there once and I had a little webcam that I was going to send to a friend. So I packaged it up, got in it, and Every have this thing where they say to send it's going to cost you £2 whatever. All right, click the button. Would you like insurance for an extra £4 to cover the cost if it goes missing? I selected that, whatever it is, or 40p, I think it was, or 50p, bob on. And then the camera didn't get to destination. So I complained and said, look, I've got to go and investigate it for you. Then I got a message back saying, unfortunately, we don't cover cameras. So I went back into it. And basically, all they will insure is the steam off your own shit. They won't insure cameras, computer games, watches, jewellery, toys. They don't cover anything. But they're asking you for 40p to be insured if it goes missing. I said, well, it hasn't arrived there damaged. It's been damaged.
What I learned today, and the guys in the US will already know this, the US Post Office has its own law enforcement detectives that carry guns. How cool is that? The detectives for the post office and they carry guns. And arrest people. Yeah.
They arrest people.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a federal crime.
Yeah.
Another great thing about using the post office is they'll actually come to the house to pick the parcel up.
I mean, I barely trust most Royal Mail employees with an elastic band, let alone a firearm.
It is funny. It's like, because when we were looking through getting a postage system sorted for us, we went through the lot, and the glorious is that they'll tell you they've got the parcel, right? Royal Mail will tell you it's going to be delivered on a certain day, right? Yoda will tell you roughly around the time, and DPD will tell you everything, including the driver's star signage. You know what I mean? It's like the information you get. And so we opted for Royal Mail in the end, and also, to be fair with them, it's very rarely we lose anything on Royal Mail. Very rarely anything gets damaged. But the difference between Royal Mail and DPD is with Royal Mail, it's about £3.90, £3.99 to send a small parcel. With DPD, it's more like £5.50, nearly £6.
I wonder the driver is a Pisces.
Vinted have been in the news lately because of AI thinking you are selling dodgy goods. I don't understand that, mate. I don't know. I'm been selling on Vinted. I wrap it up in a box. I go and scan the QR code at the local corner shop, gets put in the bag, and then I'm off. And then Vinted do cover, because I've had one parcel go missing and they refunded me straight away. Well, they refunded the buyer straight away, which was good. They realised, and apparently Vinted get the money back off Hermes or whatever. So or in post. But yeah, I use Vinted to buy kits now. I look on Vinted, eBay. I look at King Kit occasionally for vintage stuff. But other than that, yeah, it's there's also, you know, Amazon's no good. Don't bother with Amazon unless you want a rare kit that you may find on there. They do deals. If you want really good scale model kit deals, it's to get on that Hobbycraft newsletter, because the amount of times you get a 3 for 2. So this was the best one, was they were selling the Airfix Space Range, the gift sets, and they had a 3 for 2 offer on and a half price. So you could buy and these kits are 50 quid, 49.99 normally. So the shuttle was 25 quid. The new the Saturn was 25 quid, and because it was 3 for 2, you got your third one free. So I got the Artemis. So I got 3 kits worth 150 quid for £50 from Hobbycraft. And there's loads of it. And also Game is another one. If you want some cheap kits, go to Game. I bought the a couple of tanks off them. Well, actually, it was the World of Tanks 135th tank set, and they had them there for about 8 quid or something, 7 quid. So I bought 10.
Didn't realise Game did plastic
They're about
kits.
30, yeah, they're about 30 quid a pop normally, these kits. So no, Game hasn't collapsed. They're still going, and it won't collapse because they're run by the same person who's currently running Hornby, has a big dealing with Hornby. Fraser Group. Game owns Fraser Group. Fraser Group owns Game. Who else does it own? Debenhams, House of Fraser, Sports Direct. Yeah, Fraser Group own Game, and it won't collapse. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Hobbycraft, depending what it is. So I was in there a few days ago, and there was a particular, I'm going to swear at everyone now, there's a particular Gundam kit that
Hey!
and in Hobbycraft, they wanted $32.99 for that kit.
Yeah.
So in the store, I just went onto Amazon, $21.99.
Yeah.
Next day delivery.
Yeah.
So it depends on what it is, doesn't it?
Definitely. Hobbycraft is a sinner for me because I walk in there, like I showed you this, haven't I? I went in and I was just looking around. Oh, I've got that. Yeah, I'm not going to buy that. And sometimes they're quite on the expensive side. Don't get me wrong, and I think this goes down to brilliant marketing by Trumpeter. Brilliant marketing, because I just walked by the shelf and this thing looked at me. This one here. And I think it was 20 quid. And I know they're about 35, but just the image of Nemesis Prime got me. No, it's not. It's Nemesis.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's on the box.
Yeah, it says Nemesis Prime. Yeah, but that's it. That is the box. You don't need box art, just a bit of foil, and I'll buy it. Do you know what I mean? It's that bad for me now. All you need to if you're going to tell me a Spitfire, just make it in foil for me with a red propeller, and I'll buy it. You know what I mean? Great marketing, but yeah, 20 quid. I think they were 35, reduced to 20. I looked at the receipt after, so I got it for a bit of a song. But yeah, and this is the future, I'm afraid, of scale modelling. I'm going to say it now. I really believe. I think 3D resin is going to play a big part, but they're designing kits now that you don't even need a sprue cutter for. They ping off the sprue gates without the need of a sprue cutter, and they don't leave a very faint mark that you rub. And apparently this isn't new because Bandai's been doing it for years. So yeah, I think this way of building kits is something, you know. But anyways, the steam off your own shit. Sorry, Zinzan, I know it's
That's good phrase. I'm going to use it more often in conversation, I have to say.
I think a lot of people will use my stuff. I say.
Well, you're a trendsetter, Moss. You always have been.
Yeah, I try not. Oh yeah, Captain IS. I'll have a look at that in a minute. Sports Direct is phasing game out slowly. Yeah, I understand that, but it's the online presence. I think game will always be online.
Yeah,
because you know that's what I'm getting. That's the impression I'm getting. Hobbycraft is great. I'm biased because 40% family discount. Well done, Adam. Do they stock Tamiya LP paints in there yet, or is that still a no? Let me know.
No,
I didn't see any in there the other day. X and XF, not LP.
Yeah, not all of their stores actually stock their Tamiya stuff either. Actually, it's worthwhile just having a quick look to make sure.
Yeah.
So I was in one of those hobbycraft stores the other day, and there's an awful lot of this, war 40K hammer stuff, that kind of thing that is about, and I got talking to a guy who does an awful lot of this sort of stuff. Who's probably in his, he probably won't thank me for telling everybody that he's in his 40s, but he pointed me to a local local game store that sells this stuff. But I think it is the future. I think that's going to be much bigger than it is now, and it's already.
It already is.
I was going to say it's already bigger than modelling anyway. And looking at, I just bought one of these Warhammer kits just for a bit of fun, and looking at them, it's not difficult to see why, because they'll be dead easy to put together. You probably can have a lot of fun painting them, and most of the Citadel paints you can basically put a brush in and paint them out of the pot, and they'll go down perfectly happily. They don't dry immediately, which means that you can, forgive the expression, suck the paint off if you need to, because of the fact that you get better effect from that. There you go. I bet you never thought you'd hear that phrase used at a modelling convention, did you? So
I'm surprised you called it Warhammer. I thought you may have called it War Mallet or something. Do you know what I mean?
I don't want to overdo the joke because
or Peace Hammer. I bought some Peace Hammer the other day.
Yes, I'm not that.
And a bit of Waitrose to get it. Yeah,
I'm not woke, dear oh dear.
Oh dear! Somebody just put a comment there. That's interesting. I saw a video the other day that Tamiya panel line range melts Gundam kits. Some sprues are ABS, and it just melts and falls apart. Well, I'm very careful with any panel wash. I tend to put a varnish over the top before I start using it. I very rarely, because I've had issues with certain. I think it was the the Humbrol wash, enamel wash. They didn't do some of my decals any good, but I didn't know it would. I wouldn't have said it would melt ABS. ABS is a very strong plastic.
It's a very common misconception. Let's call it that.
Okay.
So with Gundam kits in particular, so for example, Rubicon kits are ABS. They're not styrene, which is why some people will have issues trying to glue Rubicon kits together with extra thin. But if you look on any Rubicon box, the glue they recommend is Deluxe Materials Plastic Magic, because the kits are ABS. With Gundam, not just Tamiya, but any sort of enamel-based wash or paint, it's not the plastic that degrades. With Gundam kits, because a lot of them, well, all of them, are posable and they have working joints.
Yeah.
And quite a lot of the time, it's almost like a rubber material around the joint. So if you introduce any sort of strong lacquer or enamel onto that rubber joint, it will degrade the joint. Hence why you'll do it before you go to bed, wake up in the morning, you have a melted welly on your curtain mat. That's essentially what happens. But it's a misconception that people are under the misconception that it's the plastic that it isn't, it's the joints.
Yeah. Okay.
As Adam said there, yeah, it's the movable joints, because you can put a lacquer or a enamel based product, whether it be a wash or a paint, on a Rubicon kit without any issues whatsoever, and that's ABS.
Right. Okay.
I had an issue with my Bandai Millennium Falcon doing an oil wash on it. The bottom gun just fell off. I'm like,
yeah,
what the heck? So
interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know. So
I'm just looking. I can't see that link. Sorry. So, yeah, movable joints can be an issue. Fair enough. Some lubricants, like 3-in-1, cause Bandai plastic to develop cracks. I found out trying to get a press fit to seat. Okay, fair enough. So you used a bit of 3-in-1 to push in the part. I understand. I do know that putting an oil wash around the suspension of a tank, the whole lot can fall apart as the oil thinner mix attacks the glue. Fair enough. It's the only way around it then, folks, is if you're going to use a panel wash, just give it a coat of varnish. Protect it so it doesn't affect it. Wayne Welly, but I say is if Warhammer price hikes the kits again this Christmas, I will move to another tabletop company, such as Conflict 47. But do you know what? I think the price of this stuff's expensive wherever you go. It's like I was looking at Warlord Games, and none of their stuff is readily what I would call pocket money. It's credit card money. To be fair, I think it's yeah.
But again, it's the same old boring argument. They're expensive. No, they're not expensive. They're expensive for a scale modeler.
Yeah.
Because of the modeling potential that is in that kit. So yes, you could argue that they're expensive for the scale modeler. They're not aimed at the scale modeler. They're aimed at the tabletop gamer.
Yeah.
So if you spend £100 on a tank, for example, you build it, paint it, then you may use that tank every weekend or every week for the next decade. So it's cost you less than £1 a month.
Yeah.
Is that expensive? Less than £1 a month? No. Mm-hmm. So the cost, Warhammer or Citadel Games Workshop, whoever you want to call it, they work out their price not only on the cost of the model, but also on the cost of the points for that particular item in the game, how influential that piece is within the game. So, for example, you could go out and buy a Valkyrie gunship, which is a sort of flying machine, if you like, for about 50 quid. But you could also go out and spend £50 on a single figure. The cost of the kit is often secondary to the benefit it has to the player in the game and how influential it is and how many of that particular item they're likely to include within their army, within their battle force on the tabletop. So that figure that costs £50 for one figure, the likelihood is you will only ever have one of those within your game because it's so influential, so powerful under the rules. Whereas something else that costs £50, for example, I don't know, a Lehman Russ tank, you might have 6 of those on the table.
Yeah, I get that.
But the cost of the kit or the size of the kit, whatever, is more from the tank than it is from the figure, from a scale modeling point.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's not quite as cut and dry as the cost. And ultimately, they're a multi-billion-dollar franchise, so they must be doing something right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take that point on, actually, yeah. It just reminds me of my mate who was a millionaire, and I said to him, because how much is this? And he goes, well, it'd be expensive for you, but cheap for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. A millionaire friend. How much you pay for that? Well, it was cheap for me, but it'd be expensive for you.
But everything is relative, isn't it? Like we said at the start, it's what it's worth to often to the individual. I mean, some things you can argue are worth money to everyone. You know, you look at certain piece of art, etc., the historical value of these things, watches, so on and so on. But a lot of stuff is valuable to the individual. It's not necessarily valuable to someone else.
That's a bit different, actually, what's been said to Moss there, and puts me very much in mind of that Harry Enfield character, in the sense what he said is, now then, Moss, I'm considerably richer than you.
I've had friends who've got really, see, like years ago, we used to go fishing, and my friend's mum and dad were quite wealthy, but they were in the middle of a divorce. So whatever this boy wanted, he got. You know, he was the first boy in school to get the Nike Air trainers that pump up. You know what I mean? Anyway, so we all decided to go fishing one day, and he goes, "Oh, I'll come fishing with you." All right, I said, "See you on Saturday." So he rocks up with this brand new rod and reel and all this, that, and the other. And there's me with this battered old rod with a rusty hook on it and an old nut on it for a weight. I flings it in. Within an hour, I've caught a salmon. He catches bugger all. Never saw him again. Or never saw that, you know.
That's because you nicked his rod.
Yeah, nicked his rod, yeah. Oh, yeah. But, yeah, you know, but I still believe in the motto, if you buy cheap, you end up buying twice. If you buy quality, you end up buying once. And I know.
What was these things on today? Buyer beware.
Buyer beware. Yeah. So, but yeah, going on. You know, we go on to the Warhammer thing.
Wise words which I currently ignore.
Yeah. Look, you know, you develop your skills in your range. You know, it's like, you know, I've seen people who do videos about this is what you need to start scale modeling, and they read off this big long list of stuff, and it's quite expensive. And you say to them, look, you don't go and say I'm going to try playing golf, right? So you go out and you buy the cheapest set of golf clubs you can find, and you go and play a couple of things. And if you don't like it, you haven't spent a fortune. You don't go out and buy the latest and greatest gear, do you, to go and try something out? And also these tools and paints, everything that I've collected over the years, is that over the years I've been able to build up a wealth of paints and glues. And also I promise you this, and Luke will vouch for me on this, there will come a time where you don't go to a model show or to a model shop to buy a kit. You'll end up being hoodwinked into buying the latest tool, whether it's
the tool you never thought you needed.
You thought you'd never need, and you probably never will need, but it's there. Like I've God hand, right, bless them, right. So E-Models had a deal on. Well, I wouldn't say it was a deal, but I bought. They had this. It was in June. I ordered these, and God hand.
Is that when they were marketing themselves as like the exclusive stockist of God Hand?
God hand, yes. Anyway, so they've got these in stock now, and these are the God Hand fingertip tweezers. Okay, that's what they are. £20 these were.
How much?
£20 plus $4.99. I haven't used them yet. I don't know what they're going to be like, but I don't think it's going to be a game changer, because I like my tweezers with the plastic ends on, not the rubber ends, but like the plastic. It's like it's almost like a resin end to them. I love them. I use them for everything. Most
I mean,
and the beauty, you know, but it is what it is. It's God hand, and I've thought, right, let's buy these. Let's see what they're like. And now, not buyer's remorse. I can't say that, but I'm thinking, they don't feel right in my fingers, but maybe if I use them a few times, they may be the best thing since sliced bread. But I don't know if they are yet.
There are certain products within the hobby that things like, you know, I defy anyone to really have any criticism of things like Tamiya paints or Citadel paints or Vallejo paints, or, you know, you compare those to Humboldt, for example. Well, there is no comparison. They're far superior. So there are certain things, and they will attract a certain price. But over the last decade or so, there's a lot of companies out there that will find a product and they will brand it as a hobby product for the scale modeling hobby, and charge 4 or 5 times the price for what is essentially a lot of the stuff that we use comes from the beauty industry, comes from the electronics manufacturing industry, things like tweezers, etc. It does.
Yeah.
And they just rebrand it. MIG was classic a few years ago, a brass toothpick. And all I want is 20 of your English pounds each. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, you go and try and buy, if you can find some weather in stock, Tamiya paint pot jars, the glass jar, the mixing jar, an empty jar, basically, and they charge you £2.5–3 each because it's got a Tamiya logo on the jar. That's it. And the smaller ones as well.
For the small ones, I've got some here somewhere.
So they'll charge you £2.5–3 because it's a hobby-specific product. However, what's the difference between a Tamiya jar and that one? Absolutely nothing. It's an airtight glass bottle, the same size, if not slightly bigger, that you can mix your paints in and store them and put a bit of tape on it with what it is. And they're about 40 pence each. So you've got to do your research with a lot of this stuff, because quite often I'm the biggest tool tart in the world. I've got every display tool known to man.
Yeah.
With the exception of their airbrush, I didn't fall down that rabbit hole. But, you know, that's not to say that there are other products out there that are just as good, if not better, at a fraction of the price. But things like paints, airbrushes, thinners, you know, all the stuff that we use all the time, you're better off, I think, paying that little bit extra and getting a well-known, well-recognised brand. Moz's got his armrest out. That's another.
I'm going to say.
Hobby's owner reinvented the wheel and charging you.
Yeah. I am going to say one thing about these. Right, I've been using these for over a week now.
Yeah.
And I fucking love them. If you when you get a set. Or if
but
you
haven't tried the alternative.
What's the alternative?
There's about 10,000 different alternatives for a tenth of the cost.
Yeah, keyboard armrest.
There's no doubt there's something like that is a benefit to what we do. And you're reaping the rewards of that benefit, obviously, because they send you. But there are many, many alternatives that will do the same thing, if not better, for a lot less cost. But because they've marketed it to the hobby community, then they'll charge a premium price for it. You know?
Because of Moss, I bought one.
There you go. You see?
I was suckered in by Moss's video.
I will say though, you've got to glue them together. If you're going to buy that middle section, you've got to glue it because it comes apart too easily.
100 quid and you're going to build it.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. I will say one thing. I understand why they're a bit on the rich end, but if somebody made one of them out of plastic, in one kit, so if it made out of wood, it would be a better medium than that plywood or the MDF that they've used. That's what I'm going to say. After I've used it, because I picked it up and it fell off and it kind of broke a little bit on the corners, so I've glued it now so it won't come apart. But if it was made out of plastic with big cushions, but honestly, once you've got it into the position that you want it to be, and you're working away, I did 2.5 hours. It did hurt, it felt really nice. And because of the angle, your hands are up here near your eyes. Normally you're on the, you're leaning over. I'm not leaning over so much. I'm building stuff up. I just prefer, and I get it,
isn't it? So, how much do Hobby Zone charge for a paint rack, for example?
they're not cheap.
30 that'll hold how many paints? Not many, really, for that sort of money, is it?
Do you know the thing that I get out of all of this is that I remember when Moss bought those God Hand pliers, tweezers, whatever they are. They're cutters, aren't they? And you were telling us, oh, they're the best things since sliced bread and everything.
I never said that. No, I never said that. No, I didn't. It wasn't God Hand that I said that about.
What was it then?
It was the display ones that I bought.
I could have sworn.
Which are very good.
I was given a set of God Hands that I keep away.
Yeah.
That I only use for specific jobs because I'm afraid of breaking them. But the all-rounder that I think are the best I've had so far are the Voltran ones and the display ones. And even my thumb's saying it's good as well. So I would say that the God Hand ones are exactly what it says on the tin, but they're brittle. You wouldn't want to use them on a main kit. There's specific jobs. I'll tell you what I use it for mostly. If you've got like a ladder or something, and you've got that, I will pull them out and gently use them on that, and then put them away again, because they're brittle. They are very sharp. They will cut through and leave a lovely finish where I don't want to go sanding and buggering about. But they're used on specific jobs. But an all-rounder is and I'll tell you this way also. I noticed that where are they? Have I got them here still? I don't know what I've done with them. Have I got in there? So I noticed Plastic Alchemist using these steady ones. They buy steady. They're only about 20 quid. He says they're really good.
See, they look remarkably similar to the Tamir ones that I swear by.
Yeah, well, the Tamir ones are the ones I swear by, but I can't find my fucking Tamir one.
Yeah. So the higher end, the more expensive Tamir snips.
Yeah.
They do two. They do a cheaper one and this one.
But these aren't all that. He recommended them to me. I got them. Not dissing him on this. He thinks they're really good. Personally, I found that they were. I found when I'm cutting sprues, this is my own opinion. Cutting sprues, there's that definite click done. I feel that they squish a little bit too much for my liking before they actually snip through. That's just my own opinion. Maybe I've got a dump what's it called, a Duffsetti, or I don't know. But I would go back to display every time over these. So these will probably be used for photo etch in the end or something. I don't know. But I paid 20 quid for them. They came next day from Amazon. They did a job. I was working on that P51D, but I ended up putting them to one side and then grabbing my displays again and going back to my display. But when it comes to the Tamiya ones, I would rate the Tamiya ones up there like God Hand. Then they don't cut as flush as a God Hand. But for me personally, like I said, the reason I kept the God Hands in that drawer out the way, safe, it's for the very, like, if you got like a tow cable and you want to just gently, you don't want to sand it, do you? You want to, that's what they're for. But for me, the all singing, all dancing ones for me are the display. So,
so anything fine and long and brittle, you'd use those.
Use the God Hands, yeah.
Right.
And I got given them by email to do a review on, and I did a kind of review on one of my model videos I did. but they were very good. But because I've seen it, you can go online and see the pictures where you've got half, this little bit here snapped off, or there's a little ridge that's appeared, because they're trying to cut tooth. It's like, so you wouldn't use a paring knife or you wouldn't use a bread knife to cut the skin off an apple, but you'd use it to cut bread with. And it's the same with nippers. You use your all-rounders all the time, but when you got the finesse stuff, you keep it. And you always keep your own. You always buy a £2 pair of snippers like those the blue-handled ones. You get them on eBay. They're blue-handled things, and you always buy. They're the ones. You buy them to cut photo etch with, because for £2 you don't mind them losing their edge. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, the Godhand ones are fantastic. Yeah, display for fine cuts, GSU for the more thick cuts to protect the display blade from prolonged shock. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, those PM120s, that's the ones I've got, the PM120s. But I use them rarely, on specific jobs, because I know that if I break them, I'm going to cry, and I'm not going to spend another 60, 70 quid on buying another set. But if I do see those Tamiya snips again on the cheap, I will buy another set of them. The only thing I found with them was that they did go rusty. They did pick up
Never
rust.
had that problem.
Rusty.
No, I had a bit of rust on the back of mine. So, but yeah, it's. I have of nippers, and when you damage the blade, you take it off and replace it. Yeah, I've got them as well, but the blades are almost as expensive as buying a new screw
models.
Yeah, that's from Tyrrell. Sell them, don't they? There they are. These ones. That's the ones I've got, and you can change the blade on them. I'll go bigger a minute so you can see. And you can. I've got about 2 blades left now, but yeah, I've used these quite a lot. And you can change the blade on them. Only one side though. But yeah, they're good, and they've also got that little bit there on your finger, so you can use your finger. I won't go past my Tamiya 123 double-sided nippers. Absolutely love them. I'll tell you the most expensive ones I've got. Well, before I bought all the other ones, and I'll never use them again, because I think they were dog shite then, and they're still dog shite now. Was these Citadel ones? I did a review on them actually. So these Citadel, right? Okay, the twin edge, the twin bladed, the twin edge as well. These are the worst ones for comfort. Firstly, they're so slippery. They're really slippery. See, and then when you go to, and because of the size, I've got big hands anyway. When you have to go to pick them up, you end up just picking up. They're too wide. Whereas these are just right in the hands. That's just right in the hands. These are mega wide. And I think, and they're slippery, and they're just awful. But they were £45 when they came out. I thought they would do everything for you.
Looks like something a dentist would use.
If I may.
But if you're talking about screw gates, that's why they're designed with it.
Well, yes. Yes. So here's the thing with the Citadel nippers. You look at anything Warhammer puts out, and they are gargantuan attachment points onto the sprue, the gate, whatever, the runner, whatever the hell you want to call it. Okay.
Yeah.
And you need something that big to get them off a Warhammer kit. Well, Warhammer is Citadel, so they basically are selling that snipper to get off your Warhammer kit.
Yeah.
And so then if you have a regular model kit that has big attachment points, yeah, it's a heavy duty one. And I agree with you, Miles. They feel weird. They're not nice. They're thin, and but they do work for their intended use.
Okay.
If you put me on big screen, Miles.
Yeah.
Look at the sprue gates and how thick these sprues are.
Okay.
They're Warhammer sprues.
Yeah.
So they need that. If you put a pair of God Hands anywhere near them,
yeah,
and it'll snap your knickers.
Okay.
There is a saw.
But what my point was is that they're slippery. They should have had like a rubber finish
Yeah.
to them. They are slippery. But you know, and then you can go down to the very worst ones, and these were $9.99 with a set of matchsticks basically, and a metal file. Is these Humbrol ones? And you can see that.
Oh no!
I've had
They
to
just
stand.
like knackered old wires.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't too impressed with the steady ones. To be fair, you know, I still use them. But yeah, you got them as well.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, like I said, my display ones, which I haven't got here, I think they're in my toolbox. And also, I bought a pair of these from Temu. No one Temu. It was something like Temu anyway. It was online.
AliExpress.
I got a tip. If you want to do photo etch, get right-handed, or they call them clawed, and I use them. So I put the photo etch down and just squeeze. Easier, because instead of going to go in, you just basically go on the top where you got your photo etch, and then just bang, and it snips it off. These are very good, and I've had these for about 4 or 5 months now, and they've still got their sharpness. But yeah, so it was just an easier way of clipping out photo etch. Not that I do much photo etch anyway; it goes against my religion.
I'll jump in real quick here too. That old dodgy pair that you have, Moz.
Yeah.
Hang on to those, because really all they are is just wire cutters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
You do not want to use a good pair of nippers on some wire if you're cutting wire to do some detail work or whatever, because you will gouge your nipper unless you have a dedicated wire cutter.
Yeah, the wire cutters, the blades on wire cutters, the clearance angle is different, and also the blades are toughened. They're hardened. These are not hardened. They're simply machined from soft steel. And yeah, you'll absolutely, if you try and even cut thin bits of copper wire like this stuff, you know, this sort of stuff here, you'll put a mark in your blue cutters very easily. And yeah, I mean, I can see that right now. It's put a mark in it, but I mean, it's a pair of £5 cutters. Who cares, you know? But I wouldn't do that with a pair of Tamiya cutters like this. It would not be sensible.
Yeah, everyone has their ways of doing it, you know. So yeah, I used to use a scalpel blade to cut the parts off, and then I realised
That's pretty much. I've used them all, but I don't have a craft knife or anything. I use a Swan Morton handle with a 10A blade.
I use my Nielsen's because I like the X-Acto knives. I like the X-Acto blades. If I see these for sale, I'll pick them up. They're only about £3 a handle, but they're bloody good. I like them a lot. Just going back. So do people like the steady sprue cutters? Because maybe mine, I've got a dodgy set because I don't think they're that sharp. I was a little bit disappointed with them.
Mr. Hobby.
Yeah.
And so I have God hands, you know.
Yeah.
And these are just these. They were about $20 less.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get the top God hand. I absolutely love these. They leave the slightest little, you know, when you cut, nothing's going to cut, you know, perfectly flat. But I love these. These are absolutely my go-to, Mr.
Yeah.
I'm convinced they're all the same thing, coming out of the same factory with different labels on them.
I think you're right. I think they're all made in one place.
Yeah, look at that. It's the same. It's the same, just a different color handle and different logo on it.
It's a bit different because I did look. This part, it's skinnier and longer, but
yeah.
Okay.
But Jim, I don't discount the concept. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Leave it to leave it to John, you know, to get out his micrometer and measure them, and you know, this is point is longer.
Yeah.
there it is.
But like I said, it's very, very rarely I would cut a part right off the sprue. I always leave the tiniest of nubs and then just go over it gently with a sanding stick. That's me.
He's measuring it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, you take off too much plastic, you can't put it back on.
So I mean, my solution on that is these glass files. These are bloody good. They were, and if you want to file a surface, a sprue nib off, you can actually listen for it, and as you move the file over the surface, the noise disappears as you come to remove the file, and you can then use a Mark 1 fingernail on the edge, and you simply find that you've got no legend left. It works well.
Yeah, they've only been around for a few years as well, those glass files. They've been around for years, but in the scale modeling world, I only saw them about 2 years ago, and I promise you, I have got an expensive set, but I also got some Meng ones, but they were dirt cheap on Amazon, like really cheap, and I ended up buying them. But there's a fine, a medium, and a coarse. There's not like grades, is there?
No.
It's fine, medium, and coarse. Yeah.
They had like 10 of them.
If I'm honest, I don't use the fine. I just use the coarse ones, or what they call them. I use the medium one, and not the fine or the dead fine. Just they don't do anything as far as I'm concerned. So there we are.
Yeah, I use scalpels a lot. I fit them into XL handles sometimes, since I don't like the sloppy from my Swanee and Morton handles. Okay, I just think Swan Morton are not designed for comfort. They're designed for medical use, one use, throwaway. And if you're doing a lot with scale modeling, I think a rounded handle was a lot better. Though saying that, the other day, I ended up buying some Swan Morton disposable knives. They actually come with a plastic handle, and they seemed a little bit more comfortable than, But it is what people use, and also it depends if you can get the blades free or not from working it, Luke. You know what I mean?
Got some of those in.
Absolutely brilliant.
I'll tell you where you can get it free. Look at that on the top. The old plastic cover to protect your blade so you don't stab yourself.
You see my fingers?
Anyone wants 3D? These are 3D printed, but they're sold by 3D Gizmo.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to get some. My fingers are terrible.
I'll tell you what, right? I'll be honest with you, lads. It's very rarely I've cut myself with a knife, but I've pierced myself with bloody like these things here. You know, the metal one. They're deadly. I've got a set, and they've all got points on them, and I've stabbed myself with these more than I have with a knife. So yeah.
I've glued my trousers to my leg before.
How did you manage that, Barry?
I spilt my super glue.
Oh, right.
Glued my trousers to my leg.
I wonder what you were going to say then, but there we are. I'm glad you've sorted it out for us.
See Infinity Display, I get all that. I think they bring out some really good scale modeling tools and accessories. Try doing a double cut mods. First cut away from the part, then the second right at the surface. That gives the second cut plastic somewhere to go while it's being cut.
Yeah, like a relief cut. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've done it on a few bits. Well, I think I'll just snip it off here. But I'm just old school. I'd rather have a little nib and just rub it back nice and smooth. And also, there's no chance of getting that mouth. The what's it called? When it you get like the white spot in the plastic from where it's being pulled, the stretch in the plastic.
Oh, yes.
So I got some glass files last month. They're great, but that's how I've always done it. The files I use are Display Sticky Back 400, 600. Great using display carbon stick. I have got one of them, but I've never used it. I dropped my Annie's tweezers went through my shoe into my foot.
Yeah.
See, Annie's is good, but it's also it's expensive as well, isn't it? You got Annie's as well, have you? Do you recommend them? Do you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But don't drop them on your foot because they are very sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I usually try to hurt myself with airbrush needles. We all done that before.
But again, you know, a really good place to look for tools that are I wouldn't say cheap, reasonable cost is watchmaking tools.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a plethora of things that are applicable.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a Zinzan word, that plethora.
Yeah.
That's very kind of you, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
A veritable plenitude thereof.
Sometimes you're a right blackguard, you know. So.
It's a cornucopia of vocabulary.
But you're good at Scrabble.
Yes, no, well, maybe a bit, possibly.
Like that old joke from Blackadder, isn't it? Where that guy brought out that book and he says, "I've read every word in that book."
Yeah.
What are you on about? I haven't released it yet. He says, "I've read the dictionary."
My hottest contrifibularities.
Configurarities.
No.
Very good.
Anyways, right. What time is it? 8 minutes to. So this week I've done a review, which is going out this week so I've got a load of Hella kits and stuff to review, and I've got a load of AMPs. Hella do this thing now where they bring out a kit and they also bring out a model set at the same time. Now this kit here is £9.90. Oh, sorry, yeah. So without the paint is £9.99, but there are places that sell them for about £13-14. But I was absolutely amazed, right, that inside is they give you little bottles of paint. Okay. Now these are 12 milliliter paint pots. Remember, the dropper bottles from Airfix are 14 milliliter paint bottles. Okay. And if you get the starter set, you get basically 3 milliliters of paint. But I would like to know, their paint is made in Mauritius, right? Is that where AK and the like get their paints made to? I'm wondering if in there is AK paints.
Very doubtful.
Anybody? Very doubtful. And I've sprayed this paint using the best airbrush thinner I think out there for acrylic, this stuff here, and I tell you what, lads, it's very good. I'm just wondering whether they're getting their paints from I know what Airfix uses or Humbrol uses Rustins to do theirs, but I'm very impressed. And so I think the idea is, why they're doing this, is that you end up building up your range of paints by buying the starter sets. So you get like a range, you know, because you've got 12 mil in here. You're not going to use 12 mil on a tank, are you? For sure, if you thin it down. But
I don't know. I've seen some people that do.
Yeah, probably.
Applied with a roller.
I'm just asking if anybody knows where Hella are getting their paints from. I'm sure that AK get their paints made in Mauritius.
I won't worry about it because Trump's going to bomb them back to the Stone Age soon. You
know? No politics. I shop at a jewellery and watch repair shop quite often. Not cheap, but some really neat items. Which is why when I was looking at these pads here, I went down a rabbit hole, because they are like a watchmaker has one of those pad sets, but the ones I was seeing were about £5,000. Imagine that, eh? They've designed, so brought out something, and a watchmaker goes, "Oh, I'm going to copy that and then sell it to watchmakers for £5,000." Do you know what I mean? I know it's.
Well, so
We're
real quick,
not using faux leather. We're using Wagamama beef leather or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Mm.
By the way, Brett's internet went out. Just FYI.
Oh, okay.
I put it in chat and I put it in private. He lives out in the woods and stuff, and sometimes it just is dodgy.
So buyer beware. When you're looking at tools, and I got suckered once, and this is what you get on Facebook, and there's these, you get these companies that sell the stuff, and it's over in China, and you really high quality metal turn like this vise, and it's got all these, and it's just milled, and there's precision, and you're like, oh, that's cool. And there's this new chopper that's come out. I'm like, oh wow, that's cool, but it's coming from China. So I found a couple years ago, it was one of these things. It was a circle cutter. Okay. So, metal, and you can make big circles. You can make little circles with all metal, and it was like, oh, that thing looks cool. It's like $50. I'm like, I don't care. I gotta have that. That'll be cool. Guess what showed up? You ready to see what showed up in the mail? I'm like, son of a bitch. So just be careful when you're out there looking at tools, because
So I was on.
That's what you get from the works, isn't it?
Dollars.
I was on Amazon looking for little shot glasses, right? Because I wanted to mix paint in them, okay? And I was buying the Mr. Hobby ones, which were getting silly prices, right? You get 20 for like, I don't know, 160 quid or whatever it is. So I bought these and I thought, oh, they'd be brilliant to go mixing with. And I bought 1,000 of these for 100 quid, thinking I'll the rest of my life I'll use these. But these are the worst things to stir because they've got these little notches in the bottom. So every time you try and stir, you end up catching the notch. And you And also, if you squeeze too hard, they just crack. They are just,
you're such a prick.
If anyone wants some of these, I'll send you them. I bought like about 1,000 for they worked out about 3 pence or 4 pence each. So
I mean, it doesn't really matter so much with acrylics or any sort of water-based type paint. But for those of you out there that are considering buying medicine cups or shot glasses or whatever, and you use lacquer paint, you must ensure that the cups you're buying are medical grade.
Medical grade.
Because if you just buy the cheap, nasty ones, the lacquer will degrade the plastic. So you have to get medical grade ones.
Yeah, that's what these are.
Well, I know it's medical grade, but these
Hello Kitty shot glasses.
Oh, that's not medical grade.
Well, this says medicine cups. So Lily Mickey, some little tiny version of Mickey Mouse or whatever the hell that thing is. I don't know. But you get 4 of these in a box, and they work fine. And I got it off Amazon, and they're impervious to lacquer and everything.
Yeah, as long as they're medical grade, they won't degrade.
Yeah.
50 for a plastic circle, not a bad price. Fair enough. That was the other thing I tried looking for was glass shot glass I could just put them through the dishwasher. But then we got a brand new dishwasher, and she who must be obeyed said, "Get the fuck out with those. They're not going in my new dishwasher." You know what I mean? So yeah.
Take that alternator with you.
Yeah. Topic next week. Rare tools in the rack, and we might do that actually. Anyway, and HypnoNet and AFC Nugget in the chat there. Will you get a fucking room, please? Going on about wedding and stuff, honestly. Car boot sales for cheap shot glasses. Yeah, I thought about doing that. Well, rare tools means ones you hardly use. Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah. I remember, as I said, when it comes to tools and that, I remember doing a video. I think it was there was a video I did about extra thin and Tamiya and Mr. Hobby tool cleaner, and I got more comments of people asking me where I got these tweezers from, because and actually they've got like a little ridge on the inside, so your part doesn't really slip out as much as you don't get the ping factor with these, as you would with normal, clean metal ones. And I got asked more times about these, and so I put a link on the Amazon for like an affiliate link, and I sold about 15 sets of these to people because they thought they were really good. And yeah, so get them from Amazon. And if you look on that video, the affiliate link is there. Anyway, it's 1 minute past 10. It was Nuno's fault, is it? Blame Nuno for this between Nugget and Hypno. Oh, fair enough. All right then. Fair play. Right. Anyway, thanks, Sword. Been a good evening. A bit of fun. Rare kits and everything. Moz's dating agency, new career move. I don't think so, mate. Honestly. God, yeah. We're not fab swingers here. Anyways, right. I will. We'll be back next week. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Jim. Brett, I hope you come back. Zinzan, John Alec, Simon, Barry, and Joffy. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week. Have a good week, everyone, and see you soon.
Bye-bye.